Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 17 of the BZCast. I am your host, Randy. This is the official podcast of BunnyZine.com. You know, BunnyZine.com with the awesome Bunny website with the monthly e-magazine. Speaking of the e-magazine, don't forget to download our March issue. It's a very special issue for the hashtag Not Just for Easter campaign. We do a big story on that, and it's a really awesome issue, and I hope you guys learn about that campaign and participate in that campaign. To learn more about the Not Just for Easter campaign, www.tinyurl.com/notjust4Easter. Again, that's www.tinyurl.com/notjust4Easter. It's a very cool campaign. We did a podcast episode with our friend Allie, who is leading this campaign, and they were also featured on issues. So make sure you download that. It's the pinned post on our Facebook page. So again, and then make sure you guys, if you can, donate to the featured rescue of the issue, which is Quebec Rabbit Rescue, I believe. The link is in that same pinned post to donate to them and help them out. I hope you guys been liking the mini episodes that I do. They're kind of more reaction episodes that don't really require me doing an hour-long podcast about, but maybe doing 10 to 15-minute video on YouTube about. So we've actually gotten some subscribers, like maybe 3 or 4 in the last week or two. So that's really cool on YouTube. Again, on youtube.com or BunnyZine BZCast. We're also on iTunes in the podcast section and on Soundcloud.com, BunnyZine BZCast. Just search that in any of those 3 formats to subscribe. If any of you guys are on Stitcher or Podcatcher, which are more friendly podcast playing apps for Android, please let me know, and we'll consider putting the podcast onto those channels, onto those websites. I know those are very popular for Android phones, Android devices. So if you guys have an Android device and that's something that you use, let me know, and we'll maybe look into putting the BunnyZine BZCast on one of those or both. Social media pages: we are BunnyZine on Facebook. We're at official BZine on Twitter and Periscope, and we are official BunnyZine on Instagram. So if you guys please can follow us on all those formats. We're active on everything. Also, you can look there for updates on the podcast, on the BunnyZine BZCast, and you can look there for updates on stuff just going on in the bunny world. Trying to think if there's anything else. Really, really, really cool. That Dustin's the abandoned family, that some of the bunnies are at a new rescue. I think it was the dad, a daughter, and a son. I could be wrong on that, but they're at Tiny Paws Small Animal Rescue in Windsor, Ontario, Canada. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. The American accent going on, but again, that's Tiny Paws Small Animal Rescue in Windsor, Ontario, Canada. I think if you go down our Facebook timeline, Dustin posted their website where you could find them, and if you are interested in adopting them, giving a good home, that would be awesome. Today I do have a guest. She is a representative of the Make Mine Chocolate campaign organization. Her name is Carrie. She's a representative, obviously, as I just said, of Make Mine Chocolate, which is going to be a very, very talked about topic, Easter, today in this. As we all know as bunny people, that what kind of pain and problems that Easter can bring to a lot of abandoned bunnies out there. So what I would like to do is bring in my guest, Carrie. Carrie, how you doing?
Yeah. Hi, how are you?
Good. Welcome to the BunnyZine BZCast. For the people that do not know about the Make Mine Chocolate campaign organization, can you just give them a little bit of background on it?
Okay. Make Mine Chocolate was created by the Columbus House Rabbit Society back in 2002. It started as a local fundraising campaign. We had little ceramic pens that we sold first to raise awareness and to raise some funds for our chapter for our foster bunnies. It quickly became evident that the fundraising and the pens, although they were very popular, the real power of the campaign was the message behind it, which was to educate people about giving live rabbits at Easter, about, how much, what it takes to live with a rabbit, their care and behavior, and to really educate about people buying them on impulse for Easter presents for their kids, and to really try to get them to think about what they were getting into. In 2005, we got a grant, and we were able to use the money to take it on a national level. We were able to build a website. We were able to build we call it the Interactive Fund, and it's part of the website, and it's modules where people can go in and step through learning about living with their house rabbit, what it takes to house them and feed them and care for them. We've got a module that sort of takes you through the stages of your own life, from your kids being small to they're teenagers and they're involved in a bunch of activities, and to really make people realize that bunnies live 8 to 12 years, and when you get them for your kids as a small, when they're small, that in their high school or college age, you will still potentially have that same bunny. So, and then it sort of grew from there. We attracted partners from all over the world, and people really latched onto the message, and they formed their own campaigns and activities around the message of rabbits should not be given to kids as Easter gifts.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have definitely. I mean, that was a talking point that I was going to bring up, but I'll just dive into it now. That you guys have really inspired. It seems like a lot of other campaigns with your awareness, building awareness. I brought up in the beginning in the intro the Not Just for Easter campaign. The hashtag Not Just for Easter, so people can post onto their social media pages, and hopefully parents and even people that buy them for their spouses can see those posts and maybe rethink about buying a bunny as a gift. But yeah, it's pretty incredible what you guys have done. You kind of grown over the years to really build something. And I think it was in New Mexico's House Rabbit Society. They had a post about maybe a week or two ago. I forgot to say this. I'm recording this on March 12, 2016. That New Mexico's House Rabbit Society posted on their Twitter, I believe, that there was a 10-year commitment, don't buy for Easter kind of rabbit sign on the back of a bus. And I saw that. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I thought that was pretty neat. Very cool. Yeah, so someone, whether it was a rescue or someone who just wanted to buy that advertisement and put it on that bus, that's the kind of awareness and strength that this is really starting up, and with that you guys, are one of the groups that kind of started this, that it's growing so much that people are joining in. More people around the country, around the world are joining in to, do stuff like this. Start up websites, like the Don't Dump Rabbits website, which is directly not related to Easter, but it's definitely builds education in adopting rabbits for gifts and education for what people can expect. Education is the big key in educating others into what they're going to be, what they're going to be signing up for, basically, with adopting a rabbit. So this is the organization is directly built from members of Columbus House Rabbit Society?
Yes, that's the core group. we run the website, we run the Facebook page, but the strength of it has been these partnerships that we've formed with other rescue groups and with individuals who they want to get involved, they want to offer their support. They can download a poster, they can create a poster, like you said, with the hashtag, with the social media stuff. It doesn't take a group to educate anybody. All it takes is one person starting a conversation, one person posting a flyer, one person passing out pamphlets. So that's really the strength of the campaign and why it's been, I think, so popular, because it's so easy to get involved and to make a difference.
Yeah, that's a really, really good point. When I had Allie on from Not Just Easter, when we were doing, promoting that campaign, she listed on her website that there was different ways that you can participate, and I think it's the same way with you guys as well. People can pass out pamphlets, people can protest, and they had laid out rules on how to do the protest. There's a bunch of different ways for everyone to, participate into these campaigns.
Right, and, some of the cool things are, some of the rescue groups hold, different events in their own areas. We've had some really, really clever ones where, they'll have, they'll promote, adopt a plush rabbit or a toy rabbit, and they, when you buy the plush rabbit, it has all the information about one of their foster rabbits. So it's kind of you adopt one of their foster rabbits, virtually, with this plush rabbit. I think that's genius. There's been so many where they've groups have teamed with candy companies and have special promotions with a percentage of candy sales going to their local stay neuter foster programs. Just really some really clever things, and that's why with our Facebook page I really enjoy the interaction of people who are doing things on their own are able to go out and make their own posts and share their photos and share their ideas, and other people can, they can steal them, they can swipe them, they can, make them their own. There's a lot of exchanging of ideas and information, and it's a really interactive space where people can get ideas and share what's worked, and it's just a nice community.
Yeah, that's the community's the perfect word for it, and that you guys have, with the bunny community. As long as I've been a part of it, I've watched it really, really grow. I've watched people really become more aggressive in sharing their opinions, and also more aggressive on sharing their opinions with others that don't know, what they're getting into. It's really been amazing.
It's all about education.
Exactly. It's been amazing to watch, like, the last 3 or 4 years. That's kind of how long I've been involved in the bunny world. To watch how much it's progressed. I mean, it's never going to be perfect. But I think, we're kind of chipping away, it seems like, every year when it comes to, like, these campaigns. And that, you guys could be in other campaigns as well, saving some bunny lives. And that's still incredibly important. Still incredibly important.
I'm sure that we're saving bunny lives. Some of the most rewarding feedback we've gotten is when we hear from a parent or a grandparent that they were considering getting their kid or grandchild or whatever a live bunny for Easter, and they've stepped back and thought about it and read some of our material and have reconsidered, and we're going with candy or toys or some other option instead of bringing a live bunny home. And that's incredibly gratifying for us, but it literally saves a bunny from a potential disaster.
Yeah, I brought this up in other episodes, but I'll bring it up again. There's a local rescue, maybe you guys know them, Red Door Shelter in Chicago. I actually might be helping them out when they do a 5K in a couple of weeks on a Saturday morning. That's not 100% guaranteed yet, but I could be, because it's like a 5K for their bunnies, to raise money for their rescue and also help bunnies in their rescue. That's like a small maybe announcement. But they have a count on their Facebook page, and their people are really good. And people tell them, say, hey, we saw this stray in blah, blah, blah on this corner. And they'll get a group out there, or they'll contact people that are in that area that they have connections with, to go out there and save that bunny and bring him into the rescue. I think the last time I saw it was 80 or 81 bunnies since last Easter.
Exactly. And that's one of my favorite things about Red Door is that they have that count and they make it public. Mm-hmm. And it's only for bunnies that have been released outside.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really important number, and it's a shame that more shelters some shelters don't even track how many bunnies come in. Some of them don't even accept bunnies at all. So it's a really big thing for shelters to track the number of bunnies they get in at all, but just the fact that Red Door tracks the bunnies that are rescued from being strays outside as a whole separate number, because a bunny didn't just wander off. Somebody did that deliberately, and it really hits you when those numbers creep up towards 100. I think last year they hit 100. It's mortifying for anybody in the rescue community to think that 100 bunnies were just turned loose without any consideration for their welfare or their safety, or the fact that if they're going to live or die.
Yeah, it is really bothersome and disturbing. Again, I'm really thankful for anyone who might listen to this, who maybe works at Red Door or volunteers there. You guys do an amazing job and going out there. I think there was I don't know if it was a bonded pair, but it was a pair of bunnies that were obviously, they had white fur, and it was coated like a brownish yellow, because that's how long they were out. And but the after picture is so they're normal and cute. You would have never even noticed that they were strays. So again, awesome job by those guys, and any rescue out there. I know I'm just using them as an example because that's just a local rescue of mine, but a lot of other rescues do that same work.
Right. All across the country and really all across the world.
Yeah.
We've got some fabulous partners through Make My Chocolate, and it's thankless because it's not glamorous, but it's important work, and it saves lives, and somebody's got to do it.
Oh, I was gonna ask you. I saw maybe it was more than a couple of weeks ago. It looked like it was in the middle to the tail, second or third week of February. You guys had a chocolate bar, selling chocolate bar campaign kind of thing, event. How did that go?
I'm drawing a blank.
It's okay.
I'm drawing a blank.
No, it literally popped up in my head just now. I was, maybe it was in the middle of February. There was, I think Make Mine Chocolate posted it, and it was a thing with, because you guys in Columbus HRS are tied. I think they posted it as well.
Yeah.
They were on tables on a sidewalk.
Yes. Actually, we have teamed up. It was created by a different group, actually.
Okay.
In partnership with Dublin Pet Fair and Volunteer Connections in Columbus. And they sponsor a local adoption fair. And they teamed up with Columbus House Rabbit Society and Ohio House Rabbit Rescue to have a Make Mine Chocolate campaign this year with a local candy company.
Oh, awesome.
And mid-February was the kickoff of their fundraiser. And what they're doing is it's a local company. They make hand-poured solid milk chocolate or solid dark chocolate bunnies, and 25% of the proceeds from each bunny sale will go towards spay and neuter program programs at local rabbit rescues. And that runs through Easter. And then on April 2nd, they are hosting an adoption day at their candy company on the front lawn. And that's local in Columbus. So, yeah, that's exciting.
Oh, that's really cool. That's really neat. It's really awesome of them to kind of help you guys out and join in and like spread the awareness when it comes to, with the obviously the chocolate bunnies.
Right, and they've got a card with our information and the top facts about having a bunny that they live 8 to 12 years, they need to be spayed and neutered, et cetera, on each one of their packages, so that everybody who buys a bunny gets the message. That's awesome.
That's really, really awesome. Were those just available like at those events? Are they available like online at all?
I don't know that I don't know if they have an online ordering system.
Okay.
I know that they have a shop in Columbus, and they have them available at their shop at all times. And I believe they do some level of shipping, but I don't know what it is.
Okay. No, I was just wondering because I think it'd be cool to kind of send them at different places, like maybe different rescues, to have other rescues kind of sell them to spread the awareness.
Right.
And
I don't know if they're set up for that, but certainly other rescues can partner with local. I know Frisky, what is it, F5RS up in Youngstown. They have a local company that they partner with. We had people out in I think it was Tucson, had a really good partnership with a candy company one year, and they had events at the company or at the store, and had some local celebrities there, and it was a really nice event. So certainly other partners or supporters can team up with a local candy company and promote Make My Chocolate and support their local rescue groups.
Awesome. That's really, really cool. So when it comes to Easter, which is like the grown about topic in the community, so when you guys, obviously when you talked about in the beginning, you talked about the backstory, about in 2002, what was, if you, I know this is like a weird question, but going all the way back when you guys first started this, what kind of situation was Easter like? Was there just like the amount, like a large amount of abandonments that kind of started, this idea? I know you guys wanted to like educate people, and that's, the prime.
I think at that point it was mostly about education. We've had a couple large, neglect or whatever cases since then, but I think at the time we were just trying to come up with ways to make people aware and to, I don't know, it was just back, I don't know, I'm babbling, I know.
No, it's okay.
That's what editing is for. I think it was just sort of an idea that grew out of, hey, this would be a good way to spread the message. And we came up, one of our volunteers was an artist and came up with the pin. And it really started as a way just to raise funds for our chapter. And then it really, within the first season of doing it, it became evident that the more important thing was the message, and to try to reach people before they make that impulse decision to buy a live bunny.
Yeah. I just know that this time of the year that is just, I think people that celebrate Easter are happy. It's a fun family event, generally speaking, that people, gather around, do breakfast or dinner, and it's a very fun time. It's a fun time for kids with the eggs and all that fun stuff and candy, generally speaking. But at the same time, we know that like pet stores drive me insane.
Yes.
I had a video last week, or no, you know what? I had a podcast that I released like 2 weeks ago, about my anger towards pet stores because I stupidly walked into one that just said on the window bunnies. Didn't say like
You and Louis Free need to team up against pet stores.
yeah.
I don't know if you've heard any of his stuff, but he is adamantly very passionate about pet stores.
Who is this?
Louis Free.
Okay.
He has his brings food from the Heartland radio show.
Okay.
It's a local thing in Youngstown, but he broadcasts over the internet. So.
Okay. I'll have to check that out.
Definitely.
It's
Pet stores are one of his favorite topics.
Yeah. If there's a saving grace in the idea of bunnies being adopted around this time of the year, I think the shelters will, I know the shelters will put more of an effort, at least certain ones will, to at least letting people know what they're getting into if shelters do adoptions. I saw some online in the last week or two that are completely shutting down for the month of March. Which their rescue is open, but you literally cannot adopt up until like April 1st. So, which is what kind of do you that's a pretty like radical effort.
Yeah, but I understand it. I mean, they do the same thing, around Halloween with black cats.
Yeah, that's true.
It's for the safety of the animals, and it's not a bad idea. We sort of go about it a different way, and we kind of try to get out ahead of the adoption rush, and we have a joint event at our local shelter, and we have a big sale, and we bring in some activities, and we feature their bunnies that are there for adoption. But we take all of our information. We have our information table. Everybody that gets adopted at the shelter anyway goes home with our information packet. But we usually have a local TV news crew out, and we really try to get ahead of it and say, hey, parents, if you are considering a rabbit, you need to be aware of these things, and please don't get from a pet store if you decide a rabbit is right for you. Please come and adopt from a local shelter or a rescue group, because we can make sure that you understand what you're getting into, and we will try to match the personality of the rabbit with the expectations of your family so that both benefit.
No, that's really good. And radical was a stupid word they're using on my part, but more just like it's a different approach, and I think it's a good one. Just a quick question. Who's someone that you obviously work with Columbus HRS, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So, as someone who works in a rescue, when it comes to this time of the year, you just explained everything about the packet and all the information and trying to suit personalities, which is awesome. What do you say? I'm just curious. What do you say to the mom or the dad or both when they say, yeah, I'm bringing this bunny home for our 8-year-old? I'm just really curious into what a rescue says to someone when because they'll say it. The parents that don't know, say, hey, I'm bringing this home for the 8-year-old.
What we just try to emphasize is that this rabbit it should be a family pet, and ultimately the responsibility needs to lie with the parent to take care of it. The child isn't going to be able to take it to the vet. Rabbits as prey species tend to hide when they're ill, so it might not be evident that something is wrong immediately, and a child isn't going to recognize that. So it really is up to the parent to be diligent and monitor the health and welfare of the rabbit. Make sure that you understand the diet and what it should be eating, what it should not be eating. The need for hay, the need for clean litter and the correct kind of litter. we really just try to make sure that the parent understands that ultimately the rabbit is their responsibility.
Good. That's really good. I had a friend of mine from HRS Chicago, my friend Jan from HRS Chicago, and that was something that she like drove in that recording, was that it always, it's when she talks to people, it was like, oh yeah, it's my 10-year-old son's rabbit, and it's like, yeah, it's your son's, quote unquote, son's bunny, but they shouldn't be the ones, primarily taking care of the rabbit.
Right. I mean, they don't have financial independence. They can't take the rabbit to the vet if it needs to go. That has to be up to the parent.
Yeah.
Making sure that rabbit has plenty of food is up to the parent.
Mm-hmm.
Making sure that the rabbit has appropriate housing. I mean, that's not something a kid is equipped to deal with. They can play with it. They can socialize it. They can help take care of it. But ultimately, the responsibility has to lie with the parent.
I completely agree.
And the other thing too, I don't know about you guys where you're at, but around here, there's enough outlying areas that are still rural, and people still consider them to be very much outdoor pets. And that's the other thing that we try to emphasize is you are not going to experience the interaction and companionship of your rabbit like you would a cat or a dog if your rabbit's stuck in a hutch in your backyard. Bring the rabbit in, interact with it, you'll find out how much personality it has. You'll get to know it, it'll get to know you, you'll enjoy it a whole lot more if you're interacting with them every single day.
Yeah, and they'll just live a completely way better, happier life. That's a really good question. I would have to direct that. That's a really good question that I could ask some of my friends at like Bunnies United Network or HRS Chicago, because I haven't directly seen it, but it's a very, very good question about the outdoor hutches. If people have come across other people that have done it, I wish I could give you a really good answer for that, but it's a good question, because in getting mixed up on all the bunny topics, that's something that I personally sometimes forget that people do, is keep them outside as pets. When you think of people keeping them outside, they think of like show rabbits or breeders or meat farms or whatever. But I never really thought of that. It's a really good point that you bring up, though, is that's a really good thing in educating people. It's just not safe for them. I mean, there's no perfect day of weather. There's no, it's not going to be like 70 every day with no rain or anything. It's just way too much for them to handle. You got to be cutting down like huge chunks of time on their life expectancy by keeping them out there, immune to predators, immune to disease. It's a really good point that you bring up.
I mean, if the weather's bad, you're not going to want to go outside and feed the rabbit that's stuck in the hutch by the garage.
Yeah.
You're going to wait until it stops raining or till it's warmer out or whatever, and that poor rabbit's going to be sitting out there waiting for its food.
Exactly. I think about that, and I think about my own two bunnies. I have two in my house as I'm saying this, and they each have their own bedroom. So, it's like the complete opposite of, it's like me and my wife have a room, and then each of them has her own bedroom. So.
Yep, exactly, and they let you know when it's time to eat.
Oh, yeah. It's a lot of noise at like 6 o'clock in the morning. Like, hey, you're like 5 minutes past your deadline here. What's going on?
Exactly.
No.
That's what cats and dogs do too, and people need to realize that it's the same level of commitment and care and interaction and just having a pet in your home. And it's not something that you get and stick outside and don't have to worry about, or stick in the basement and don't think about. It should be something that your family enjoys.
Exactly. I mean, you learn very quickly when when they're adjusted to their settings indoors and they have free space to run around, how intelligent and how much personality and character that they really have.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible. Like I said, I have two that are polar opposites of each other, but they're both awesome in their own way. So, no, I love it. It's the same thing. I used to live in a house with a dog a few years ago, and it was the same way. That dog was fed at like 5 a.m. every morning, and if it wasn't, it was like jumping up on the bed at you. And bunnies are the same way. They will make noise when they're like out of their quote unquote routine,
Right.
and do other things. Hey, spend some time with me, and hey, don't ignore me. I see you over there, kind of thing. So it's really, really neat. I'm glad you did bring that up about outdoor compared to indoor. For anyone who's listening, I give credit to Carrie on that point. For anyone who's listening who does have a hutch outside or is considering it or considering adopting a bunny and leaving them outside in a hutch, I strongly advise to bring that bunny, inside. Give him comfortable space inside, a lot of free space to run, and you will have a way better experience and relationship with your bunny.
Exactly. And the thing that we encourage is we use 4x4 exercise pens instead of cages.
Yeah.
It doesn't take up a whole lot of floor space in comparison to a traditional rabbit cage.
Yeah.
And it gives the bunny so much more room to move around. There's room for a litter box. There's room for, a box to hide under or to hop onto. It gives them plenty of space to have their food and their water and their toys. And it also makes it easier to clean up after them if there's, all their stuff is sort of combined in one little area. And then you can easily open it up, let them have their playtime out in your rabbit-proofed room, which your cords are protected, your furniture's protected, and we have tips and tricks that we offer, with that kind of thing. And then, after they have their playtime, they go back into their pen, which they consider their home.
Yeah.
And that's their safe spot. And it's very easy to have a bunny in your house if you're set up for it.
Exactly. Bunny proofing is very, very important. It's funny that you brought up the pens, because my Flemish has like he's never locked in it. He's like free roaming in that bedroom like all day and all night. But just in case he has to be locked up, we're like cleaning up the room or the vacuum or something, or vacuuming or whatever. He has like a dog kennel cage. It's hilarious. It's like something for like a German Shepherd.
But it's great. I mean, it gives him plenty of room to move around.
Yeah.
He obviously can hop from, the front to back or the side to whatever. He can stand up.
Mm-hmm.
That's a dog crate is a great option as long as it's a big crate. Because it does give them the same space to move around. You can put a litter box in there, put all their stuff in there, and it gives them a safe space.
Exactly. And the safe big space is important and awesome for them. Again, that just drives into what we've been talking about the last 10 minutes, and that you just have a way more positive, better relationship with the bunny. I mean,
Exactly.
And they'll have a way happier experience. And I think that's the best priority, the top priority when you're adopting the bunny is making sure that they're happy and doing well.
Right. Well, the other thing too is that way, if their behavior changes, if their litter habits change, something's not quite right, you're aware of it a lot sooner than you would be if they're outside the hutch.
Exactly.
And that way you have, you can get them to the vet promptly and address anything that might be going on, and it's a lot easier to catch it quickly if you're living with them, if you know what their normal behavior looks like, if you're, aware of their litter habits and that kind of thing. It's a lot easier to pick up when something's off than if you're not interacting with them on a daily basis.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good point. You can, if there's something that's medically wrong, you can address it right away and catch it way faster than if they were outside.
Right. One thing I want to bring up before I forget, one of the other things with Make My Chocolate that we're trying to do is we've got a draft letter and a poster specific for photography.
Okay.
Because a lot of times photographers will promote photos with Easter bunnies and use live bunnies in their Easter photos for kids. And we tell them that we would prefer that they not use live bunnies. We give them a list of alternatives of, fun things, Easter themed toys or flowers or, stuffed animals or Easter baskets and eggs and, all different things that they could use as alternatives to live bunnies that would still yield cute pictures. People want their kids to look cute. When you introduce a live bunny, you're risking scratches, you're risking injury to the bunny, you're risking injury to the kids. That's a responsibility on the photographer to make sure that the bunnies are healthy. They have to figure out what to do with them after photo shoots are done. So our message is it's a lot easier to avoid all of that and just use alternatives and skip the live bunnies, and everybody's going to be happier.
That's awesome. That's a really good message. I like it. I like that.
We have a letter for people to take and modify for their own use and send to local photographers. And then we've got a little poster that photographers can use to promote that they are a compassionate photographer and that they have chosen not to offer live bunnies for these reasons.
Okay. That's good. I like that. It's a really positive spin on the whole photography angle with people and bunnies.
Yeah.
Before I close out, we talked off the air about if there's anything you wanted to bring up as far as like promoting any events, campaigns, or sometimes even protests. Is there something that you wanted to bring up?
Yeah, we've got a couple local things going on. I think I mentioned in Columbus at Poplar Area Humane Society on March 19th, which is next Saturday, from noon to 4 p.m., we are having a Make My Chocolate Day where we have a big sale and a raffle. We'll have a kids' activity table. We bring up adoptable rabbits from within the shelter and feature them and let the public interact with them. We have educators and volunteers on hand to answer questions and to provide information. We take our information table. We've got our basic care booklet, articles on care and behavior. We're there to answer any questions. So we encourage people to come out if they're thinking about adding a rabbit, talking to people, learning what they need to know. The nice thing about adopting from Capital Area or one of the other local rescue groups is the rabbits are already spayed and neutered, which helps tremendously with care and behavior. But I want to get that out there. The other thing we've got going on is the teaming with Eagle Candy with the chocolate bunnies and the Make My Chocolate message attached, and a portion of the proceeds of all the chocolate bunny sales goes towards local rescue groups and their spay and neuter programs. And then on April 2nd, Eagle Candy is hosting an adoption event on their lawn with local rescue groups, bringing out foster bunnies for people to meet and interact with.
Oh, that's awesome. And I hope people that are maybe in the Columbus, in the state of Ohio, not far from Ohio, in the area, can help out and attend those events.
Great, thank you.
Carrie, see, it went pretty well.
I hope so.
Yeah, see, it went pretty well. Everything went pretty smoothly. I'd like to thank you again. First, thank you for the people, you and the other people at Columbus HRS for starting the Make Mine Chocolate campaign. It's going very strong. I hope this video and Bunny Sign in general, because we completely support you guys. I hope this really, helps you guys out, build your awareness, build the message that's being, sent from you guys about buying the chocolate bunnies over adopting real bunnies.
Yeah, this has been great, and I really appreciate the opportunity to get out there and, spread our message and raise awareness, and, that's what we're here for. And if people have questions or, are thinking about getting a bunny, contact your local rescue group, contact your local, animal shelter, and learn what you're getting into before you bring a bunny home.
Awesome. Well, thank you again for your time, Carrie, and you could look for this on maybe Thursday or Friday.
Okay.
Well, thank you again, Carrie. You have a nice day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, guys, that was pretty awesome. I'd like to thank, even though I thanked her, I always thank my guest after the show, Carrie of Make Mine Chocolate. Again, they're tied with Columbus House Rabbit Society, so shout out to Columbus House Rabbit Society. We've had interactions with them. They've been a featured, Columbus HRS has been a featured rescue of one of our issues before. So big shout out to them. They're friends of ours, friends of Bunny Sign. All rescues are. Even if you haven't been featured yet, you're a good friend of Bunny Sign. So my closing topic, I was going to do this as a YouTube mini video, but I decided literally just to add this at the end of the podcast. I used to do these portions. I stopped doing them maybe, 6 or 7 episodes ago, where I'd have a closing separate story that wasn't related to the topic. My closing one today is the story of Atlas. Atlas was a bunny overseas. I can't remember the exact country. He's that big sandy, continental giant. Well, I don't want to say sandy, very, very, light brown. If you guys know who, probably already know who I'm talking about. You saw that he was adopted, which was awesome. He was given up, and his story hit, just his story and his, his size and him hopping around in videos exploded over the internet. And I saw this really interesting post, and I'm sorry that I do not know the person's name. I can't remember the person's name that said it. It was on the Facebook group page, the House Rabbit Society group page. There's 7,000 members plus. I saw someone had the perfect comment, and I just wanted to kind of bring it up to us. They said they had over 20 or 30 people fill out adoption forms just to try to adopt Atlas. Again, which is awesome. It's really cool that rescue, and I'm drawing a blank on the rescue's name, got so much media attention that they were able to give him a good home. Someone's comment, I just wanted to address it, and I think it addressed it in a good way, not in a bad way. Said something along the lines of, if those 21 or whatever it was, 21 or 30 people, 20, 30 people, each adopted, just put in adoptions forms for a bunny, that rescue would be in a lot better shape than just fantasizing and romanticizing over a big bunny. And end quote. There's some along the lines of that. I think that's a very important point, because I get wrapped up. I have a Flemish in my house. I get wrapped up in the big guys and the big bunnies, and I think a lot of us do. I mean, they're awesome. They're pretty rare to find in my area in Illinois, to really find. It's pretty much that they're bred, mostly bred by a breeder, a Flemish breeder, and then they kind of don't make the cut of what the breeder wants, and so the breeder sells them, and then the person gives up on that Flemish and gets in a rescue and ends up being adopted by someone else. For example, the place where I got Moose, who's my Flemish, his name also might be Wrigley. Wrigley, my Flemish giant, the rescue I got him said that's like the woman who was working behind the counter said that's like the second one they've ever seen in like her 5 years. So that's how rare and they are, and that's probably why I love them so much, because you could barely find them in this area. And at some of the other rescues that I've been at where I've seen Flemish giants, they're like owned by the owner of the rescue. They don't want to give them up, or the owner or someone else there just decided to adopt them, but they still like keep them at the rescue when they're at work. It makes sense. They're there with other bunnies. They can look after them while they're taking care of them. So I thought that was a good point. I think yes, I think it's okay to love a particular kind of bunny. I'm never not gonna not like big bunnies. They're awesome. They're cool. Big fur balls hopping around, a lot of personality and character. But I think it's also important to remember to go outside of your box, your comfort zone, and maybe give another bunny that's small, or a bunny that's like a lion head, or an Angora with all that crazy fur. Give them a chance as well. And I'm not just talking about big bunnies. I think everyone has their preference on what they like to adopt. And, whether it's past experience or whether they just think they look really cute or look really fun. Everyone, I think, has their preferences on like their breed or what kind of bunny that they're looking for. And I think it's important to maybe go out of your comfort zone, give a different bunny a chance, and you can see, what amazing, an amazing turnout can be, and maybe they can change your mind on just adopting out of your own personal quote-unquote preference. It's kind of what we did with Nova. Nova was a little girl who I thought would kind of grow into a bigger bunny. She really hasn't. She's still at the 1 year old mark, so she could get a little bigger, but she's really not. She's a small girl, and I love her to death. She's awesome. But again, that was like adopting. I still have her. I'm not going to give up on her because she's not growing into a Flemish or anything like that. She's awesome. She's wonderful. And if I didn't take that, I thought she'd grow into something bigger. But still, I'm holding on to her and keeping her because I love her, and she's awesome. She's an awesome family member. Awesome little diva with a lot of attitude. As she's making a ton of noises. I'm recording this right now. So that's kind of like my point with the Atlas story. We all romanticized and were fascinated by how big he was and how awesome he looked. But I think it's also important to think about the other bunnies that are out there for adoption, and to give them an equal chance that you would over your bunny that you have a preference for, whether it's breed or whatever, look. To give them a chance as well. They deserve it just as much as any other bunny. That's it for me, you guys. Again, on social media, we are BunnyZine on Facebook, at official BZine on Twitter, official BunnyZine on Instagram. We are on Sound. You can find this recording on SoundCloud.com, on iTunes in the podcast section, and on YouTube.com. Just search BunnyZine BZCast on any of those three. Don't forget to download our March issue, the Not Just for Easter issue. Also a very important campaign, just like the Make Mine Chocolate. And look out for, by the time this comes out, stay tuned for April's issue. I'm not directly sure. I don't know any of what's going on with April's issue yet, but it's in the works. Again, so download our issue, visit our website. That's pretty much it for me, you guys. Any questions, concerns, any ideas for the podcast, email me at bunnyzinecast@gmail.com. Again, that is bunnyzinecast@gmail.com. For any questions, ideas, thoughts about the podcast, I would love to hear them. Thank you guys for listening. You having a good day or a nice night. Take care.